Hello everyone, and thanks for joining me here at TaxCrunch. My name is Christopher Volas, and today I wanted to provide an alternative way to help you gather tax documents for your next tax return preparation. So those tax organizers are helpful, but if you don't have one handy or if you'd prefer a visual guide, then I hope this video can help you out. So I'm going to walk through the return, each section, and show you the documents or the information that you would need if it's applicable to you. So hopefully this will trigger your memory on some events you may have forgotten or simply remind you of some deductions you may have overlooked. So the tax returns are due April 15th, but you can get an extension for 6 months past that. So by the time you sit down and prepare your taxes, sometimes it's been 22 months since some of those tax events have happened. So it's very easy to forget if you opened a new investment account or possibly withdrew money from a retirement account. I've also had people forget to tell me about new children in their family simply because by the time they sit down and do their taxes, they're already over a year old and not top of mind. So let's get this started and let's get you organized.
And I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen. Cannonball!
Okay, we're just going to start out on the actual 1040 form here, just for a couple basic items. If your address changed, let us know. Also, if you had any changes in dependents, whether it was additions or subtractions, let us know that as well. If it was an addition, we're going to need the Social Security number and the birth date. So the first form we're going to jump onto, super easy, is the W-2. You all should recognize this, no explanations here. If you did receive gambling winnings, you're going to receive the W-2G form, and that will show your winnings and all the details that go along with it. If you have this form, you're also going to need to tally up any gambling losses that you might have so that we can offset some of this income. Next is if you received any interest income. It's going to be shown on the 1099 INT form. If your interest income was below $10, there is a chance that you may not receive this form, as you technically don't have to report that income in the first place. But look for this form if you did have interest income. If you had dividend income, it would be a similar form, the 1099 DIV. It's going to show your ordinary dividends, your qualified dividends, any federal income tax withheld. So look for this form if you have any dividends. If you had any stock sales, it would be reported on the 1099-B, which is the proceeds from broker and barter exchange. It's going to list the actual stock that was sold and all the details that went along with it. If you have the money in an investment account, most likely you're going to receive this form, which is a 1099 composite. Here's a sample of a form from Charles Schwab, and it's going to actually have your interest, your dividends, and your stock sales all on the same form. So this is going to be more common if you have the money in an investment account. Next, we'll jump to the 1099-R form. If you receive pensions or annuities, or if you distributed money from a retirement account, this is the form that you're going to receive. It's going to show the distribution, how much of it is taxable, and how much income tax was withheld. If you received Social Security benefits, you're going to receive the SSA 1099 form, which is going to show your benefits here, and then also if you had any tax withheld. Next form is the 1099-MIS. This is the form that used to have the contractor payments, no longer starting in 2020. So most likely, if you did receive rent income here or royalty income, you're going to receive this 1099-MIS form. If you are a contractor and the amount you got paid was over $600, most likely you're going to receive the 1099 NEC, non-employee compensation form. So a common misconception is if you receive $600 or less, do you not have to report that income? Yes, you do. The IRS wants you to report all the income. That $600 figure is just a number for the payer as a limit to have to issue a form. So it's just a way for the IRS to keep a tally on the bigger dollar amounts. But yes, you are required to actually report all of your compensation, not just the ones that are reported to you via this 1099 NEC. So look for this form if you are a contractor. Next form is the 1099-G. You're going to receive this form if you received unemployment compensation during the year. So that'll be pretty popular in the year 2020 with the COVID-19. There'll be a lot of these forms. Also, if you received a state tax refund, it's most likely going to get sent to you on this 1099-G as well. Next form is the 5498-SA. That is if you made contributions into a health savings account, an HSA, or the other medical savings accounts as well. So look for this if you made contributions into an HSA. If you took money out of an HSA, you're going to look for the 1099-SA form, and that is just distributions from the HSA or other medical savings accounts.
Boy, that escalated quickly. I mean, that really got out of hand fast.
So for health insurance, if you were covered through the marketplace, you're going to receive the 1095-A Health Insurance Marketplace Statement. It's going to show the policy information, who the covered individuals were, and then the actual premiums. If you were not covered through the marketplace, you're most likely just going to receive a 1095-B form, which is informational, shows the coverage, shows who was covered, and you'll also receive coverage information on your W-2 if it was paid via the employer. Next form, if you contributed to an IRA, whether it was a Roth or a traditional IRA, you're going to receive the form 5498. So that's a good reminder for how much you put into the retirement account for the year. If you have student loan interest, you're going to get this form, the 1098-E form, and that will show you how much interest was received by your lender during the year. Next form is the tuition statement. It's the 1098-T. It's going to show college tuition and related expenses. Also, if you received any scholarships or grants. So for education credits, this form is important. Sometimes you might have to request this if you haven't received it already, but you will need the 1098-T form. If you are an investor or a partner in a partnership, LLC, or S corporation, you're going to receive a K-1 each year. And they are both the same form. They do come out a little different. If you are a member of an LLC or a partnership, it's going to say Form 1065. It's going to list out your reported income and all the details that go along with it. If you were a shareholder in S Corp, it's going to be this form, same thing, except it's just listed from the 1120S tax return of the S Corp. But same thing, you will need this. Sometimes these do delay the returns, but you will need the K-1 to file the return if you are an investor.
Uh-oh. I might be in trouble on that one.
So for itemized deductions, you have mortgage interest, which is reported to you on this Form 1098, which shows the mortgage interest that was received by the lender, plus any mortgage insurance premiums or any points paid. This is also a good time to gather up your real estate taxes paid for the year. Your other itemized deductions are going to be charitable donations, so tally up what you paid in cash or check or credit card, and then also if you made any non-cash donations, get a summary of those, a description of the items that were donated, your best guess on the approximate value of those donations, and the original cost of those. So that's going to be somewhat of a guesstimate, but summarize those as well. If you do have a home office, gather those expenses too. Anything you spent directly for that space on the home office, put together on a separate list, and we can see if that's something that would actually be able to get deducted. For tax credits, some of the credits that could apply would be dependent care. So if you did pay a person or an organization, you need their ID number, and the amount that you paid for each child. Residential energy credits are still good through 2020. Those would be energy efficient improvements. Most likely the information is going to come right from the manufacturer, whether or not those are actually deductible as a credit. And another one is adoption tax credits. So if you're in that process, it's worth it to provide that information just so we know where you're at. Electric vehicles still have tax credits as well. So if you did purchase an electric vehicle, you can put that information in there also. Okay, so that is most of the documents that you're going to need for most of the items that will appear on a typical 1040 individual tax return. So hopefully that helps out with a little bit of a visual on some of the documents that you might need to gather.
Take it easy, champ. Why don't you stop talking for a while?
Okay, so I hope this video has been helpful. Feel free to watch it whenever you're about to prepare your returns. I will also be providing written custom tax organizers for my clients, but this video is just helpful if you'd like a visual guide to see some of those documents that you may need in the future. So as always, if you have any questions, contact me. Thanks for tuning in, and stay tuned for more videos from TaxCrunch.